All right, Dylan, thank you. Well, this month marks 1 year since Hurricane Helene devastated western North Carolina, and Lake Lure is one of the areas that got hit the hardest. The town has worked hard to rebuild, and now the light is at the end of the tunnel. Ryan Stockett has the story.
So that's pretty exciting, especially for a lot of the local businesses out here.
Locals sharing their excitement after the town of Lake Lure announced their goal to welcome residents and visitors back to a fully restored lake by May. This happening after the lake was drained to remove debris from Helene. In their announcement, the town of Lake Lure says it has worked closely with FEMA and the Army Corps of Engineers in the restoration efforts. The Army Corps has identified October 31st as the target date for completing the work restoring the lake basin and shoreline.
To us, it means the world. You know, of course, being a boat business, it's our livelihood. So this is the average hurricane damage boat. It was held down inside the boathouse.
Brad Peters owns a shop that fixes up boats, and since Helene, they've lost 80% of their business.
Conserve. You know, just try to not spend more than you have to get through.
He says the recent announcement goes to show the strength of the community and that it's taken a lot of people and a lot of hard work to get where they're at.
Stay lean until then, and we'll be ready come springtime.
Now, that was Ryan Stockett reporting. The Reeves Creek Fire Department says more of the Blue Ridge Parkway will reopen to visitors tomorrow. The stretch from Asheville to Mount Mitchell State Park is set to open for sightseers just in time for the fall. Officials say that visitors will not be able to go past the park and all traffic must come back down the parkway. Now, this may cause some heavy traffic in the area, so be sure to give yourself plenty of time while visiting. New this morning, it's the last week of summer, and western North Carolina is ready to welcome visitors back this fall. Several autumn events are set to ramp up in the coming weeks. The Black Mountain Blues Festival runs from the 26th to the 28th of this month, while the Brushy Mountain Apple Festival heads to North Wilkesboro on October 4th. Mount Airy hosts the Autumn Leaves Festival from October 10th to the 12th, and the Woolly Worm Festival is back in Banner Elk on the 18th and 19th. We also invite you to join us in less than 2 weeks for our exclusive documentary called The Long Road Home. Our team takes a look at what happened when Helene hit and how survivors are moving forward 1 year later. It airs right here on September 26th at 8 p.m. In national news now, President Trump has approved a major disaster declaration for North Carolina in the aftermath of Chantal. FEMA says federal assistance will now be available to help repair facilities damaged from the storm in July. Now, here in the Piedmont, those in Alamance, Caswell, and Chatham will be eligible for the funding. Governor Josh Stein praised this decision, writing on social media, quote, "These critical resources will help repair roads and damaged infrastructure as central North Carolina recovers." Staying in national news, a high-stakes decision on the U.S. economy. The Federal Reserve meets this week to decide on interest rates, with rising inflation on one hand and a months-long pressure campaign from President Trump on the other. Our Washington correspondent Amy Lou joins us from our D.C. bureau. And Amy, what do we expect the Fed to do?
The Federal Reserve is expected to announce a long-awaited interest rate cut this week, making it clear its decision is based on a slowing economy and not surrendering to President Trump's demands. Recent data shows hiring is slowing and unemployment is ticking up, which normally would call for an interest rate cut, making borrowed money for things like cars and credit cards cheaper. At the same time, inflation remains stubbornly high, which usually is solved by keeping interest rates where they are, leaving prices up. Added pressure from President Trump isn't helping. Experts say his repeated calls for the Fed to lower interest rates is damaging the Fed's independence and credibility, spooking investors and the market.
If the Fed is politicized and they're acting based upon political pressures rather than accurate economic data, that's going to send messages throughout the economy that maybe what they're doing isn't really good for the economy, and maybe it doesn't come from a solid place of evidence.
And President Trump's tariffs have also injected a lot of uncertainty in the market, and experts say that could further drive up inflation. In Washington, I'm Amy Lou, WXII 12 News.
Staying in Washington, the Trump administration has halted some funding for PEPFAR, a flagship aid relief program here in the United States. International organizations and members of Congress say the cuts are already hurting patients as well as critical global projects. PEPFAR's funding was primarily implemented by USAID, which President Trump dismantled earlier this year. The program is credited with saving more than 26 million lives over the past 2 decades. In health news, the makers of Tylenol met with Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in an effort to stop him from linking the over-the-counter pain medicine as a possible cause for autism. Now, the Wall Street Journal reports the private meeting between Kenvue's interim CEO and RFK Jr. took place in the last few days. HHS previously announced it is studying the causes of autism. A report is expected later this month. Now, recent reports suggest the agency will issue an analysis linking the use of acetaminophen during pregnancy to the development of autism. Electric bikes and scooters are gaining popularity around the country, but some doctors are speaking up, saying they're starting to see a surge in injuries, especially among teens and children. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on the growing concern and how to stay safe.
It's a popular way to get around. Electric scooters and bikes can get you where you're going fast. But doctors warn the rising number of them on the road is causing another kind of surge.
When we get our trauma alerts, a lot of times I'm thinking, okay, is it another e-bike or e-scooter injury? Because they become more and more common.
Pediatric trauma surgeon Dr. Mark Levy with Orlando Health says his hospital alone has seen a 250% increase in emergency room visits from e-bike and e-scooter accidents. But the American College of Surgeons says it's a problem nationwide, with more than 20,000 people hurt while riding electric bikes every year. About 3,000 of those require hospitalization.
E-scooters and e-bikes can attain speeds as high as 20 to 30 miles per hour. Some e-bikes can go as fast as 50 miles per hour.
Levy says head injuries are the most common, and there have also been deaths. He says many times riders he sees in the ER either didn't have a helmet or weren't wearing the right one. As speeds increase, Levy says a stronger helmet with a higher rating is needed for protection.
This helmet is rated a level 3 helmet, which would be up to 28 miles per hour. And you can see it has a kind of a full shell around it that protects the head. It's also harder than the other one and is better for these higher rates of speed.
Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Back in the Triad now, new this morning, UNC Greensboro says it's installed 2 solar-powered charging stations for personal electronic transportation. Now that includes e-bikes, scooters, and skateboards. School officials say the chargers also have lockable storage for people to keep their vehicles safe. Staying in Guilford County, 2 new housing developments are coming to Greensboro. The Grayson at Randleman Crossing will be on Randleman Road, and Overland Place Apartments on Overland Heights. That will bring 132 new housing units to the Gate City. Now, we're told the projects will provide homes for families with a range of incomes. Construction is expected to begin next year. The North Carolina Folk Festival wraps up in downtown Greensboro today. The festival features more than 80 artists across multiple stages. The Steep Canyon Rangers headline the final day. Admission to this nonprofit event is totally free, and an artisan marketplace will be on site offering food, drinks, and merchandise available for purchase. And staying in the Gate City, the Central Carolina Fair third and final week comes to a close this evening. It's held at the Greensboro Complex. This is the 126th year of the event, which features rides, food, circus shows, and an animal exhibit. We're more than a month out, but Halloween festivities have already kicked off. Scarowinds is officially open for the spooky season. The theme park on the border of North and South Carolina has transformed into a full scare fest through November 2nd. In Archdale, Kersey Valley opens its 41st season in less than 2 weeks. Their Corn Maze runs September 26th through November 1st. And in Blowing Rock, the Tweetsea Railroad Ghost Train returns next Friday, running every Friday and Saturday through November 1st. Coming up, home openers are happening around the Triad. Winston-Salem State takes the field at Bowman Gray and makes a statement. Those details coming up next in sports.